Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And BlueDragonFive.
And AdvBlueDude.
And tonight, we're talking Mr. Banks.
That's a beautiful drum solo.
On the Hero Season 2 DVD box set. At least it's good for something.
Huh.
Alright. Yes. We are talking Mr. Banks. BlueDragonFive, what do we got in store tonight?
Well, tonight, gentlemen, we're here to talk about the Disney Vault. I'm sure many of you, just to clarify for all those out there, like Disney has a vault. There's a vault on the Disney premise way down deep inside the dark recesses of the Mickey Mouse funded corporation. And what would they keep in such a vault? What, I ask you?
Song of the South. Song of the South. That's what.
Potentially. Very potentially.
Yes.
And many other dark secrets potentially. But no, folks, just to clarify, folks out there, no, it's not a Mission Impossible type caper of like what's down there cracking into the vault, seeing what's.
I want to see that movie though. I want to see a movie where someone breaks into the Disney Vault. That would be amazing.
I would also like to see that movie, Dave, but you know, it's not a physical thing to the extent of my knowledge. I'm sure people have tried to search for it. It's been hyped up so much by the media. You watch a VHS, David's going to mention this thing's going on.
A lot of people claim it's underneath the Matterhorn. That's a popular theory.
And so the question is, what is this thing actually? I mean, we've heard it talked up so much, but you know what? Let's just cut through it right now. Let's talk about it. So let's turn to an expert, AdvBlueDude. Just tell the nice people viewing this video, tell us all what exactly is the vault. You know, take away the mystery, unshroud it. You know, what is the vault? How does it work? What's the history for this thing? By all means, please, if you'd be so kind, take us through the history of the deep, ominous, and mysterious mouse-shaped Disney vault.
Well, since I'm apparently the expert, the Disney Vault, it's essentially where all the Disney movies are kept, and they originally had a thing where every 7 years they would re-release their animated features back into theaters.
Since 37, right?
I'm sorry?
Since Snow White, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, probably Snow White.
Yeah, it makes sense. And actually, they probably did it because of the war, but
actually, they probably use that method even before, like even with shorts, maybe. I don't know.
I could have sworn because I thought there was like Snow White's plan was like 7 or 8 years from now you re-release it in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's how the Disney company definitely kind of kept getting a lot of their funding, even for, you know, like you said, even through the wartime and whatnot, when they weren't really producing a lot of content on their own.
Yeah. But then home video happened, and they started continuing that tradition, but on home video.
And they essentially started the greatest "We will threaten our customers" ad campaign that has ever existed.
Yes.
Don't make me shoot this dog.
Oh God.
Don't make me shoot Pluto.
Oh no. I'm sorry. Go on, AdvBlueDude.
That's about all they say. Like they have the commercials that you mentioned where they say, "Yes, we're distributing this movie for 5 years, but be careful because after those 5 years, they're going back into the vault."
Forever.
Go back in the vault, fuckers. Back
Forever,
in the vault.
or until the next time we need money.
Exactly.
So.
Because if I can bring this point of discussion up, if I can, gentlemen. So the initial plan by Disney, and they've even mentioned this on like news shows with Roy E. Disney. Basically, it was carved in granite by Walt. Okay, we're going to release these every like 7 or 8 years and in theaters, and pretty much then you're absolutely right. Home video happened. Then it was like more of a regular occurrence. Put them out to kind of make the money now instead of kind of just make it the only place you can watch this is in theaters. Mm-hmm. So basically that's a big change in itself. Kind of, do you think it cheapens the mystique at all, or is it just more accessible?
Well, I mean, with the dawn of the internet, you have to realize that everything is kind of like up for grabs now, because we have stuff like Netflix, we have Hulu, streaming websites, of course, legal and illegal, pirating. So it's like everything really, because of the internet, is now like, if you want to get it, you can get it. There is a way. And so I feel like in general, I know for me personally, it used to be a big thing to collect all the Disney movies. I'm sure eventually it's going to be again, but I don't know. For me, I definitely think in general, just the way that media and home video and what's even left of home video has developed, I think it kind of does. I think that's done more damage to Disney home video releases than anything else. What do you guys think?
Something you got to remember. I'm sorry, Adventure Blue. Did you want to say something?
I don't really have anything to say. No.
Well, you have to remember this releasing on home video skyrocketed Disney to huge heights for a while. You know, basically it was like when they essentially, I believe, at the point in time where they had nothing. This is before the Renaissance really kicked in. They had nothing. They were kind of fledgling. They said, okay, well, we gotta make some like that. So basically, they started releasing the films that they have the technology to. They have the money. Well, we don't have the money. We need the technology though. You know, let's capitalize on that. So they release on me. So home videos makes them a lot of cash, gets the name out there. People are going to Disney because we love these movies, and now we don't have to wait 7 years to watch them. We just get them instantly and watch them over and over again until the tape wears out, and then we buy another one.
Oh god, yeah.
It was definitely an important milestone for Disney. What do you think, Adventure Blue did?
What? I apologize.
What do you think, fella?
I don't usually think, actually.
I can confirm this.
Yes. Tiki can. I zoned out for a tick.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, I think, I can remember my parents. It was always a big deal, and I think this is something that's true with every kid growing up since VHS was prominent. There was always a Disney collection. Every kid's shelf had a big bunch of Disney movies, and then maybe some stuff off to the side that weren't Disney. I don't know if that's... What?
I was going to say, with either a white or black, even though it was pretty much always white little outlines of the VHS tape holder cassette.
Oh yeah, and they're big, and they had these big clamshell-like designs, classic.
Yeah, I remember just as a kid, I used those like to stack my figures on, or basically leave the cars so they could race across like a long,
right.
Stack Batman on top of like a building, or like closest thing to a building I could make.
Yeah, I know. Back when I was growing up, the big one was the Walt Disney Masterpiece Collection. It was a big deal. I think that was the first time they ever released Snow White. I'm not completely sure about that. I know that Snow White wasn't the first one that they did release.
I believe the first one they released was Pinocchio.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
I could be wrong, mind you. I thought that was the big one.
And I'm pretty sure I do have a copy of that. I think you're right about that. I'm not sure if I have a copy of the first edition run of the Pinocchio VHS, but I know it's
Snow White was on Laserdisc.
What?
Snow White was on Laserdisc.
But it wasn't on DVD, so. Oh,
Wait,
I'm
what?
sorry. It wasn't on. I'm sorry, that was a slip.
VHS.
It wasn't on VHS, and so the Masterpiece Collection was the first time it was on VHS.
Probably. Yeah.
And I remember they were making a big deal about that. And they also made a big deal out of it. Like, I don't know, for some reason Snow White is like, well, I guess, because it's the first Disney feature. But,
well, you know something funny?
What?
Well, not really funny. So I remember when I was a kid, I was with my father. One of my father's various, well, nowadays not so various. One of my father's occupations was he worked in a pawn shop. Mm-hmm. And, like above...
like the Pawn Stars?
No, not like the Pawn Stars.
You have a Chumlee?
No.
Okay, I kid.
Anyways, like around like the vault area, I guess, like it's in the back office, I guess, his vault. Basically, I would see whenever I visit my work.
Oh.
There'd be this huge tower like leading up to the ceiling from the space between this tall safe and the ceiling shelf area of Disney VHS tapes. I look at it because it just intrigues me right off the bat. The only thing is I'd either have them in my collection already, or they'd be like the Disney movies you didn't really want or really need. Like Flubber was there.
Hey, are you talking the Robin Williams Flubber?
Yes.
Don't diss that movie.
Too soon.
Too soon.
I'm just saying movies in like variety. Like maybe. Is it? I'm saying movies like at least as a kid I didn't really come to fully appreciate yet. Maybe like your maybe like a few of your not that I didn't watch it a lot, mind you, like Mary Poppins. Like seeing
Mary Poppins was definitely one of those ones that I only appreciated as a teenager when I got more into Disney history and stuff.
Just think about it, like as a kid, I'm focused on the animation, not exactly the live action mix of animation yet, except Roger Rabbit.
Roger Rabbit, I even had a hard time following when I was like a really little kid. I think I got onto that when I was like a preteen. I do remember I tried to watch Roger Rabbit, and I think I just kind of got all convoluted in the actual mystery plot. It just kind of like, I don't know, sort of went over my head a little bit.
That is the weak point of that movie with the mystery plot. That's neither here nor there. The point is, a lot of different VHS tapes that were part of the Disney collection, which did extend past just the Disney animated feature line, which is basically anything, even Brave Little Toasters. And so on and so forth. The Brave Little Toasters. Let's go round table here. There's a few VHS tapes that stuck out to us that were tied into the Disney company one way or another.
Okay.
Part of their various collections.
Okay. You want to go first?
BlueDude. Start us off, AdvBlueDude. Go ahead.
Alright, Mary Poppins, Brave Little Toaster, and The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Ah, that's what I remember. Because that one had like the black outline, the rare black outline.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. We had.
I remember the opening and the trailers for that were so creepy to me as a kid.
Yeah.
It was like basically like you see the cops and like the dispatch in the news talking about Santa Claus as a scary skeleton. Like, oh man, that's creepy. And then the Touchstone logo. It was like, oh man, this is so different.
I love the features that were on the Nightmare Before Christmas VHS.
What features were on there?
There was a making-of feature, and then there was the original Frankenweenie.
Oh,
so like I grew up watching the original Frankenweenie.
Oh, very nice. See,
I remember on my copy they had they had two trailers.
Oh, it had Vincent as well. I'm sorry.
Let's see. One of the trailers was I know one of them was. Oh, one of them was the frickin' Christopher Lloyd Angel in the Outfield.
Oh,
yeah.
And then another one was D2, The Mighty Ducks Strike Back.
Yeah.
There are, I think for me, there are like 4 very influential VHS tapes I remember in my lifetime.
Okay.
Never forget them. One of them I'm going to exclude because that's just Batman Mask of the Phantasm, which is always going to be ingrained in my heart. But aside from that, the Disney-related ones. One would be it's technically tied into Disney. I forget what the arrangement or the legality of it was at the time, but the point is, I believe it was tied into Disney. It was the Muppets, the fairy tale.
Oh, that was a great one.
Oh yeah,
I think it's technically tied into Disney, but I always remember that was grade like 6 or.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget like how many it was. I want to say like 6 or 7 like fairy tales, like the Kermit and the as the shoemaker.
I think it was 4.
Okay. I remember,
if it's the one I'm thinking of, where I had the boy who cried wolf.
Yeah, there's Boy Who Cried Wolf. There's Miss Piggy, and then the Big Bad Wolf. There's Kermit the Frog and the shoemaking elves.
Yeah.
And
the Emperor's New Clothes.
Right, Emperor's New Clothes of Fozzie. Yeah. Oh, you're right. It's only 4, but it was great. And, like the beginning was Gonzo in his '90s phase, like saying, "Hey guys, check this out," or him and Rizzo.
Oh god.
At the beginning. The other one's Inspector Gadget, because it is kind of like a nostalgic guilty pleasure. Matthew Broderick. Because I just remember the beginning, just seeing like remember because on VHS tapes. Before you get into the movie, they advertise you're about to watch the movie, or like stick around to the ending where you see a crappy music video.
Yeah.
I mean, Inspector Gadget one was like kind of guiltily catchy, but not that good.
Oh god.
But it was all boy bandy. They were nuts with that sort of stuff. Anyway, Inspector Gadget. The 2 most important ones. 2 hugely important ones. One, Peter Pan.
Oh, yeah.
Peter Pan. Because again, I've mentioned this every time we've ever talked about Saving Mr. Banks. The actual movie, Saving Mr. Banks. One of my most nostalgic Disney memories is watching the Peter Pan VHS tape and the ending of the VHS tape with the features that were on them. 2 features particularly were, and it's in the movie, Walt Disney like dusting the fairy dust off and flying, talking to Tinkerbell in black and white. That always stuck out to me because I would watch the Peter Pan VHS. They'd be like night, it'd be like 8 or 9 o'clock. It'd be dark out, have the atmosphere all set, the lights turned out, and they'd just be like they're sucked into this magical world. And he's like talking about story things such as like how there was poison involved in the original story. It's kind of ominous and creepy, but kind of cool.
Yeah, I remember that a lot. Like the narrator's like, the original storyline was to be a lot darker and much more sinister.
Yeah, but you felt secure with Walto, even though like you didn't know what was going to happen. He's like the Willy Wonka of sorts.
Yeah.
And then the last one, the most important one to me personally, I'll never forget this. One of the best after I learned so much. This kind of ignited my love of this particular thing to this day. The Toy Story VHS tape.
Ah, of course.
I will owe everything in my life to that VHS tape. I watched the ending of it, and basically, this is the first time I ever learned like what goes into making an animated film, essentially.
Oh.
And basically, you hear like you got to see that creepy the Toy Story original test footage with the puppet, the ventriloquist dummy Woody, and the small red and white Buzz Lightyear, who was, I believe, Tempest from Morph at this point. And Woody was really cruel to him. Essentially, it was like, it's on the DVD, it's called the making of feature, which is on just like the 25-minute making of feature.
Right.
But it's on the VHS. They've just seen it for the first time again, kind of like a nighttime setting almost. And you learn so much like after the movie. Like, oh man, that was such a good movie. And then wait, there's more? Oh my god! There's more you're learning about, getting the peek into Joe Ranft pitching the Army Man sequence, seeing them walk around with the tennis shoes attached to the board. A lot of interesting, informative stuff. A lot of good stuff.
Yeah. Let's see. Like for me, there's got to be got to bring up Aladdin because that was a huge one.
Oh yeah.
And I remember that was before the Walt Disney Masterpiece Collection. I think I had both Aladdin and Dumbo on what was called the Walt Disney Classics Collection, I believe it was. I know the logo was all in black and it looked really classy. Let's see. Definitely Snow White does stand out because I remember they had the big intro by Roy Disney about the Walt Disney Masterpiece Collection. He's like, finally, you at home can experience Snow White whenever you want, stuff like that.
You know what's interesting, reflecting on that sort of stuff?
What?
If I'm correct, the placing of that was like around the whole Disney power struggle.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
I remember watching Waking Sleeping Beauty and basically see Roy Disney like introing you into like an ABC special.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. Roy Disney, man, he really did have the Walt-style charisma, in his own way. But and then let's see a couple others. I do remember. I remember the Walt Disney Favorite Stories collections, which was a series of like tall tales and fables.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So, yeah, and they had there was Paul Bunyan, Peter and the Wolf, Mickey
John
and the
Henry.
Beanstalk, John Henry. Yeah.
I remember the one with the
Johnny Appleseed?
I think Johnny Appleseed might have been a bonus feature on one of them. Definitely, that's where a lot of people probably saw Legend of Sleepy Hollow for the first time, as well as Wind in the Willows, because those two were broken up. Like, I didn't even know there was an Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad.
Oh yeah, I have that one still.
Yeah.
Remind me something. I can never get the name of this one right, but I think it's called like Make Mine the Melody or like
Make Mine Music.
Make Mine Music. Make Mine Music. That's the one where it opens with Jiminy Cricket, right? And you have the bongo, the bear. And
no, that's Fun and Fancy Free, actually.
You're sure?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's Fun and Fancy Free, and like the ending of it.
No. Bongo isn't in Fun and Fancy Free.
Isn't Fun and Fancy Free?
Fun and Fancy Free is the...
No, Fun and Fancy Free is the one with Mickey and the Beanstalk and Charlie McCarthy.
So that's what that's the one. It's the same one.
Yeah, it also has bongo.
Yeah,
does
bongo's
really?
in there. Yeah, it does.
Well, I'll be damned.
So that's what it's called. It's called Fun and Fancy Free. Okay.
Yeah.
I keep getting those package films mixed up.
Oh, we did a whole series on the package films. That was fun.
I'm saying the package films they're not packaged. It's like all the shorts and vignettes are kind of hard to get them straight. Which movie is which?
Right.
But yeah,
Yeah.
Fun and Fancy Free, that's definitely one of the nostalgic one for me, definitely, because it's like
Oh,
when they were opening with Charlie
Three
McCarthy.
fucking Caballeros right there.
Yeah, Caballeros.
Yeah.
You want to talk nostalgia? Oh my
Oh, yeah.
god.
Coming
That
from the
was
good-
basically like, I would literally watch that to get quote unquote tripped out before I knew what being tripped out was. Because it's that psychedelic of a movie that I would watch it specifically for just the trippy visuals and whatnot.
Those
It was
guys
probably
came
the
from
first. It was probably the first movie I ever watched like that.
Real briefly, for those who may not be aware watching this, the Three Caballeros actually have a big standing within the community of animation because remember it was they were spawned from the Goodwill tour,
Exactly. Yeah.
and particularly actually Pixar even uses these guys technically because they always whenever they do a rap party they have a mariachi band or they have like a group of three people working there they call them the Three Caballeros.
Yeah, and of course, AdvBlueDude, your favorite, the redo of El Rio de Tiempo. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Yeah. Would you gentlemen give me a second while I grab a drink?
Yes.
Right, hold on. Rant about El Rio de Tiempo really quick.
Rant about El Rio del Tiempo. Well, El Rio del Tiempo was an original opening day attraction at Epcot's experimental prototype community of tomorrow. It was a boat ride through the history, the culture, and the people and locales of Mexico. And it was a really great attraction. It used the art style, like Mexican art styles it used. It was a really good picture of Mexico, and then they put the Three Caballeros in, and thus it was no longer a great ride. It's okay, you still ride the boto, you go through Mexico, you look at the fucking birds as they dance and sing, but it's not as good. There's no Mary Blair-esque art style. Which is actually very interesting, because I didn't even think...
I guess, like, the original had the screens, too, right?
Yes.
Because I think the Three Caballero version just uses screens way too much. Does it use the screens as much as the original?
Oh yeah, they didn't add any screens. The only thing is that they used it the wrong way. Because,
Right.
El Rio del Tiempo is a lot like If You Had Wings.
Mhm.
Except better. I don't really like If You Had Wings, to be totally honest. But, they used it more to show things that they couldn't show in animatronic form. Like, one screen had people, like, cliff diving off the coast of Mexico. Like, things like that you can only really show through that.
Right.
And they had a gag where, like, you would go
They should
through
have
a
just had live
marketplace.
cliff divers like at Casa Bonita.
Yes. No, they would have, like, there would be like a gag where you'd go through a marketplace and there's 4 screens on one wall, and as your boat goes by, there's a salesman following you across the screens trying to sell you stuff.
Right.
So I had things like that where like it worked, and then with this they just added the Three Caballeros, and that's about it.
Like,
Well, let me,
there they are. It's Disney. You see it? There they are. Brand.
Now I want a muffin. Let me transition a little bit. One more VHS tape mention before we kind of move on, but it's relevant to kind of moving forward within the timeline, if you will. It's again a personal favorite. Again, Toy Story 2. And it's not so much what came after the tape. It was more so the beginning and the oncoming attractions. The two in particular. One, and you guys probably be far more well versed on this than I, because as a kid I'm just remember like, man, this thing's kind of strange. It sounds kind of cool, but kind of strange. It's it was, I think they were just kind of selling California again, pretty much like another rehash, just selling on California, where they had this giant wolf statue, wolf rock formation or mountain.
Grizzly Peak.
Oh yeah, you're talking about Grizzly Peak.
Oh yeah.
It's like a wolf to me, but yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
No, I remember that vividly. Oh yeah.
Because I remember that was the big thing that was sold there, like for Disney California, I think.
And that was basically like the one thing in the original California Adventure that was actually impressive on a visual level, and even the ride itself didn't really contain anything that was that impressive. So
I like the ride.
No, but that was a fantastic park teaser. I'll give you that, because it just like pans around and then the peak roars and it's just like Disney's California Adventure, and you're just like, oh.
Anyway, so the other thing, the more important one. The thing, again, Pixar, they're geniuses. They did not so much test animation, but it was like a little teaser, a little thing. It didn't really have to do with the movie, but it kind of gave you a premise, and it essentially sold you on the movie. Mike and Sully going through the room, basically the kid in Mongolia.
Yeah.
The Mongolia test footage, I guess would be the term. Essentially, Mike and Sully both go through the room, and apparently it was more of like a tag team thing. I don't know if it changed in story at all, or if it was just for the test thing alone, which I believe is the case.
I really miss when Pixar trailers used to be like this.
Well,
I think that really set a precedent, and because I remember the Incredibles trailer was much like that.
They did that, yeah.
Nemo
was like that. Nemo.
What?
Nemo.
What was the trailer for Nemo again?
Mind you, now Nemo, I'm definitely sure was exactly test footage. That was Marlin going through looking for the whale. He came across him and Dory came across the whale.
Yeah, right, okay. And then of course for Wall-E, you had that great trailer with the lunch. That was a really good trailer, but I don't know. It seems to me like the Cars trailer was fucking awful. I remember that vividly.
I mean, the point is,
what is this?
Well, just to clarify, it's not so much that. It's trailers now. It's not exactly teasers or like little test footage teasers.
Exactly, because I love the test footage that just kind of brought you into the world just enough that.
However, interestingly enough, the Big Hero 6 did that recently.
You're right. They did.
Not so recently, but yeah. So I mean, Disney's kind of bringing it back. Trying to think of any other examples.
They tried to do that a little bit with Frozen, and it fucking fell on its face.
Well, yeah, you're definitely right. It misfired, but that is another piece.
And I've said this time and time again. Like, they are fucking lucky that Frozen succeeded in spite of that terrible ad, in spite of that terrible first trailer. They are lucky. Okay.
But yeah, so essentially, it was a brilliant move. Basically, Mike and Sully's going there talking about the kid in Mongolia. You get essentially how this whole thing works. You go through there, and basically Mike's left in there with the dog. We scare because we care. I mean, it wraps you in there like, oh man, monsters with a job, and they're going in the room, and you don't even see the kid. I mean, you're capturing your imagination, and the poor little guy's left with the dog. So the point is, the VHS tapes and the home media, they didn't manage to capture your attention or at least get you involved with the ads that you couldn't really avoid without the tedious process of fast forwarding, or at least you had to look at the thing visually, it intrigued you to check it out, listen to it. Like today, we can just go past the fast play, past the menu, Disney fast play, which is another thing we'll rant about momentarily.
Oh god.
But the point is, so Disney is evolving in their methods, evolving in the methods to the madness. We're transitioning a few years here. AdvBlueDude, take us through where we are in our journey next in regards to the Disney Vault. So, they have these VHS tapes out.
Yes. And then they say, hey, DVD is a cool concept. And thus, DVDs.
But it couldn't just be called DVDs, though, AdvBlueDude. It couldn't just be DVD. It had to be Disney DVD.
Yes.
And every single Disney DVD that came out was a Disney DVD.
With fucking Tinkerbell and their
not just that, you know what
forward.
annoyed the fuck out of me with that was they'd have the Disney DVD logo, and then they'd have like the fucking like the Disney surround sound or whatever the hell their sound.
And then there's a 5-minute trailer showing you that you can fast forward through the trailers before the menu.
One thing. Before we really get into the DVDs, real quick, just to reiterate, if we haven't done enough already, just the point is, the VHS tapes, they're released. You know, people are enjoying it, but at some point it's advertised that they're going to be put back in the vault. Now, this strategy is to get you to.
And also, might I say, with VHS, I'm sorry, really quick, with VHS, of course, we had all the Disney sing-alongs, but that's an entire different topic that we can go off on different podcasts on. So let's just put the Disney podcast or the Disney sing-alongs and put that in the So You Want to Be an Imagineer YouTube vault that I just created. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Okay, moving on.
We will be deleting all of our videos and releasing them 5 at a time. Every for 1 month.
That would be unbelievably bad marketing on our part.
You don't want to advertise it. Think about it, Mr. Blue, if you say that, people are going to panic. Oh, people only hear the bad parts. See, whenever an announcement like that is made, people only hear the bad
Yeah,
parts.
come on. We're up to 112. We're up to 114 subscribers, AdvBlueDude. Come on, don't jinx it. We're on the upward trend.
See, people hear the term reboot, and they hear, oh, no, everything's going away. They don't hear, no, we're going to give it some reimaginings. Or, no, we're eventually going to re-release everything when the reboot comes out. Just everything's going back now.
Christmas in July. Like, we'll take away all the Christmas in July videos and then put them up Christmas 5 years from now. There we go.
But so the point is, so Disney they take the VHS tapes, they store them in the vault with the hopes that they will, hopes that people who haven't gotten their hands on it will buy them again when they decide to re-release them at some point in time. Do we have any like variation of like, do they just randomly put them back out any time, or was it like they had like a specific period of wait time?
They're all on a timetable, and I know this because I specifically remember the order that the Platinums came out, because I will get all the Platinums, and then I remember when the Diamonds came out, and it was like the exact same order.
Well, I mean, like what's your... Do we have like an estimate of like what the timetable is, or at least at one point what the timetable was?
I'm pretty sure it's every 7 years.
7? Okay, so still 7 years. Okay.
Yeah, it's still 7 years. Yeah.
I think they would have trimmed that down a little.
No.
I don't know, because there's so many Disney movies. They have plenty they can do with it.
Well, I mean back in the day is what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
because VHS tapes seem more like, you know, it's funny. I can't remember far back to this. Well, I would hope so, but for some reason I'm thinking like VHS tapes are a little more hard to come by than DVDs.
Uh,
I mean,
VHS.
of course you could always record the stuff and just have it that way, but I mean like just the like literally
like the
factory
physical
made.
copies.
Yeah, like I guess since it was a little more valuable for some reason.
Yeah, I mean,
Or hard to
probably
come by.
just because it's just an older medium, and yeah, there's the nostalgia value.
Well, I mean, even when it came out, though, I mean, when it was new, it sounded like it was a more hard to come by commodity.
Oh, I hear you. Okay.
So anyway, let's see.
What
So
I
let's
remember in that regard is, like I said, I was a big collector of the Platinum editions. That was my thing. Like, I was way into that. I know, let's see, the order was Snow White. Oh, fucking Snow White. I think Beauty and the Beast was second. And then, like, I know I started with Aladdin. And do you guys have the Aladdin DVD?
yes,
But the special features on
Yes.
that thing are absolutely outstanding.
they are.
Yes.
But we're still on. Should we still wrap up on VHS before we get to there, or do we still?
Well, no, we're on DVD, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I want to say one last thing. Just it bridges into DVD.
Okay.
So I'm saying in general, it's the concept of how do we feel about that? Okay, so they put the VHS tapes in the vault, and then they'll take them back out again after a
You
7
guys will never guess the movie that I realized that VHS was dying from.
What?
So I just had a VHS player and not a DVD player at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't get to see this movie in theaters, and I wanted to rent it. And so I went up to my local Bradley Video, which is, of course, no longer in business, and I was like,
Who's B?
oh, God. Oh, God. No, but I was like, excuse me, sir? Do you have Monkey Bone on VHS?
That's a monkey.
And then he was like, no, we're probably not going to get that on VHS for quite a while. It's all on DVD. Yeah, Monkey Bone. Fucking Monkey Bone. I'll never forget that. I was so upset because I couldn't watch Monkey Bone. Oh, dear. And then, of course, when I finally got to see that movie, it haunted my dreams and scarred me for life.
So I'm glad you brought that up, Tiki, because think about it.
What, you're glad that I brought up Monkey Bone?
Well, not so much monkey bone, but more so the idea of you not being able to get the thing for a while, because that's why I'm bringing this thing up.
Right,
so the point
right.
is, the whole conceit of the vault is you can't get it for a certain period of time. That's I believe the kind of the big old flaw within the vault, but it's debatable whether it is in fact a flaw or not. So okay, put the movie out. We all enjoy the movie. Yeah. We want to get the movie. They put a rush on it that you gotta get the movie before it's put back in the vault. Because when it's in the vault, you cannot get access to the movie unless you go through like heck and high water.
Amazon!
Well, I'm saying before Amazon. Hence the VHS. I'm saying before Amazon was even around, really, when it was in its most archaic phase. We had to beat someone over the head to get something from Amazon, you know? But, how do we feel about that? Like, not having access to the thing, do we think that it is a good move to go without the movie for like 7 years, or would you like just to still have access to it, just it not being put back in the vault? Hey, the movie's out, you can still get it, but we're going to release an even better version 7 years from now. What do you think?
Even better? By even better, do you mean like restored or whatnot?
Restored, maybe some new features, new trailers, obviously. So I'm saying stuff like that.
Okay. You know, like I was definitely a special features whore. You know, that's why I was kind of disappointed with the Peter Pan Platinum Edition, because the Peter Pan Platinum Edition, their main documentary was that documentary from the VHS. Fantastic documentary, but I've seen it a million times.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because that was my next point I was going to make.
Yeah.
So let me relay a little story to you, gentlemen, if I may be so kind. So, I am looking for Peter Pan. I got my Disney movies. I'm in a Disney movie mood. Just watching them. I noticed I'm missing Peter Pan. I always liked Peter Pan because I got nostalgic memories tied to that VHS tape.
Oh, yeah.
And I like it on DVD. Mind you, years have gone by. It's like, in real terms, like maybe, I don't know, like maybe 5, 6 years ago. From now. So like, I'm looking for it on the track. I'm looking for it, and I can't find it on DVD. And I'm thinking it's really odd. Why can't I get it? And I remember I've always seen the trailers talking about the Disney Vault. I thought, it's just a myth or something. It's a little scare tactic. So I asked somebody. I go to Barnes and Nobles. I'm asking, hey, do you guys have a Peter Pan on like a 2-disc DVD, or basically I'm looking for commentary. It's a huge thing with me with Disney dudes.
Yeah. Well,
which we'll get to. I love my Disney things with commentary. And because the other ones I have, like Aladdin, which we'll get to in a moment, has a lot of fantastic features, including great commentary.
My favorite feature in Aladdin is the Gilbert Gottfried featurette, which lasts like 3 minutes.
Mine was longer than 3 minutes, but anyway.
No, it just cracks me up that Gilbert Gottfried got a whole section, and you could just tell he was just having such a fun time with Iago.
Yeah, with the anyway, so the point is, I'm looking for Peter Pan. Basically, I have to go through an arm and a leg to get Peter Pan, because apparently it's been taken back in the vault. I want to watch Peter Pan now. So I go to like a CVS where they have like the old movies still there on sale. So apparently they didn't go like a whole we must seek it out, destroy it, or throw it in the vault. Find all copies. Look at the little tracking devices we put on it. Nothing like that. It's not like a
I just put them in a bunch of dead squirrels.
So it's not like apparently it's not like a giant. I don't know. Eventually, do you know how it works? Like, so when they take something back in the vault, is just not distributed anymore, or do they actually recall some?
No,
I don't think they recall them.
Yeah,
I'm saying like the ones that are already out in the stores. Like, do they recall the ones that haven't been sold yet, or
No.
Okay, so it's there.
Yeah.
It's there until it's sold. Yeah, so it's like you can technically still like seek out a store that would still have copies. I remember doing that. So.
I'm doing like a CVS, and I get the
I remember Walmart was probably the place that I'd go like first, because they usually have the best prices and they'd have everything. But then if something wasn't at Walmart, I'd go looking around to like the video stores and the mom and pop stores and everything like that. So I can remember hunting around for it. But
so anyway, so I get the I get the DVD. At CVS, I get all I want. I get has commentary. I know Frank Thomas was on there. I think Ollie Johnson may have also been on there, which is awesome if that is the case. But once I get all the features I want, I get the classic ones that are on my VHS tape, and I got the commentary to boot. So I'm satisfied with that. And so essentially, that's in there. Eventually, years later, they release Peter Pan again. I look at the back of it. It's basically the same features. Maybe an additional one here, basically like looking in retrospect. I don't even remember that. It might have just been literally the same thing, just released with platinum on it, and a Blu-ray copy. That pretty much might have been the only change.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, the point is, it seemed pretty much the same for me. So they re-released it for nothing, in essence, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of how I felt about the DVD. Like, oh boy, with the commentaries that are like that, that's kind of a really gray area for me.
What do you mean?
Because I don't necessarily think they flow all that well when it's just archival audio footage, or
Right. Well, it's not always audio footage. Sometimes like historians talking about it. Like
yeah, but like I said, I just the way they do it, I just don't think it fits because it's just like, oh, here's Frank Thomas talking about this, and
Well, no, mine was the actual living Frank Thomas.
oh, was it?
Yeah, mine was living Frank Thomas. I don't know. I know sometimes they do that.
I'd have to go back and watch it, I guess.
Waking Sleeping Beauty includes archival commentary, but
Right.
sometimes I know what you mean, Tiki. Sometimes it does happen. Sometimes it's actually just the film critics or whoever talking about it.
Like I know they really pushed like commentary by Walt Disney on the Snow White DVD, and that was a huge fucking thing. And then it turned out, it's just because, of course, Walt Disney didn't actually record a commentary.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh, here's Walt Disney, here's a bunch of audio clips of Walt Disney.
No, that's still pretty cool.
Over the movie.
It's like how John Hughes is a commentary of Ferris Bueller's Day Off, you know?
Right. Can I just talk about probably my favorite commentary ever? And it's not even really a commentary. Did you guys have the Bambi DVD?
No.
No.
Oh, okay. Well,
Bambi wasn't a high one on my priorities list. It's just it never really stuck with me. Aside from the death, really, what do you remember from that film?
I completely agree with you. I think Bambi is...
I respect it. I'm just not crazy about it.
That's how I feel about it. I think Bambi is one of the most visually impressive and striking Disney movies there's ever been.
The animation's good. They have the deer in for reference. All of that looks great.
Yeah, and the backgrounds and the way they use the multiplane and all that, and but the thing is, they have what they call the story meetings.
Yes.
And what it is
you mean the Sweatbox?
Yeah, essentially.
Oh, I love the Sweatbox stuff.
That's a great movie.
But essentially, what it is, they recorded.
No, what movie, AdvBlueDude?
I heard you say the Sweatbox, and I thought you were talking about the movie.
Well, no, there was a movie called The Sweat. Is it about the Disney Sweatbox?
Yeah.
Yes, it's actually very hard to find, and it's off the internet now.
Oh, really?
It was made by Sting's wife, and it's about the making of Kingdom of the Sun, which is what became Emperor's New Groove. Because Sting was on it, and like the production was entirely fucked. But there's a documentary about it that essentially shows Disney at the time in a horrible light.
Oh.
So Disney bought it and refuses to distribute it, and it's an amazing documentary. I think.
You have to wonder why they didn't do that with Escape from Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, you know something that's kind of bugging me. There's like a great missed opportunity in my life. Well, not a huge, but it wasn't like profound. But it was like a recent one, I guess. A few years ago. So I was kind of mulling over a big decision. I was looking for documentaries on Disney because I love Waking Sleeping Beauty. I love the heck out of that thing.
Right.
I was looking for more. Of course, there's Walt and Gruvo, and basically after the three, and well, also Frank and Ollie, pretty much you're done. So I was looking around, and the problem is, and this is the age-old problem, if anyone out there can help me, I'd be much appreciative of it. But essentially, I have no idea what the title of this thing is, but I can describe it to a T. Essentially, it was about how 3D animation killed 2D animation, especially with Disney. And I always debated watching that thing because it was kind of villainizing something I liked. So I was debating that because Frank Thomas and Ollie Johnson. I saw the trailer. I could never find the name to rewatch the trailer, so I could find the thing, which I felt so bad. It was around that time because I remember watching the Pixar story. It had that whole section about how Disney kind of soured with Pixar because they kind of killed the medium. At least in their minds, they killed the medium. I was kind of wondering, do I want to watch a movie where they villainize something I like? And then by the time I said, for curiosity's sake, I couldn't find it again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. So if anyone out there knows the title of the thing, it's like the death of 2D animation, essentially. By all means, leave in the comments.
But just really quickly, so Disney had all the story meetings from Bambi recorded.
Yes.
And so what they do is they get different actors in there to to do the voices of all the different story people and Walt Disney himself in the room. And so they basically
Tom Hanks?
No, it's not Tom Hanks. But they basically just do this whole, it's like a whole running commentary that's a story meeting over the movie. And, like, with each scene, they talk about, like, how the scene sort of developed, and it's really fascinating.
Wow.
And you also get to see, like, all these background drawings and stuff like that, concept art. It's so cool. It's the coolest way I've ever seen a commentary done.
I've never heard of a commentary. I've never heard of a commentary. Like, so which version of Bambi is that on?
I'm pretty sure it's on every version since the Platinum Edition.
Okay,
so.
that's good to know, folks.
Yeah, no, seriously, I've always felt that's like a very underrated feature because it's just a wealth. It's just a wealth of Disney knowledge. It's so cool.
But let's see. You want to talk about Aladdin in terms of DVD features, like into kind of what Disney did with their DVD features?
Yeah, well, with Aladdin, it was one of those things where they just crammed it, It was just chock full. Like, this was when Disney was trying to just, the more features, the better. They were trying to give you a quality product, and they were very hard-pressed with that.
Essentially, I found the documentary.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
It's Dream On, Silly Dreamers.
Oh, that's the one I'm talking about?
Yes.
Oh, thank you so much. It's Dream On, Silly Dreamers.
Silly Dreamer. It just.
Oh, Silly Dreamer. Okay, I'm going to write that down real quick, fellas, so give me one moment here. Dream On, Silly Dreamer.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's one midlife crisis down. Okay. Let's see. So, so Aladdin. So essentially, I think Aladdin is kind of the equivalent to The Incredibles for Pixar in terms of, mind you,
I totally agree. I totally agree.
I say that because don't get me wrong, all Pixar's releases are so superior to Disney's in every way. But I think
I don't agree with that.
Well, I mean nowadays. I mean now in comparison. Sorry, I want to specify that.
Yeah, because back in the day they were really competitive.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I meant nowadays.
I haven't seen a Pixar release in years on DVD, so I wouldn't know.
I'm on top of that.
I think was Up and Walt. And actually, those two are really damn good. So.
And the Pixar special features are tied into my alleged love story, so my ongoing love story. So I know those things like the back of my hand. What every feature is on those DVDs.
Right.
But potentially the two in particular, well, the big contenders for Pixar in terms of DVD release that are kind of the equivalent to Aladdin and Lion King for
Lion King was a really good one, even though I'm not a big fan.
Essentially, those were known as kind of the 2-disc monster editions, where you get all the great
monster
features.
Editions. That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Essentially, and it was a great idea. It's a fantastic idea. And again, I like how Pixar also did that. I don't know if it was just them inspired by them or it's like a coincidence. But the point is, it was you'd have 2-disc chock full of features. First of all, you get your first disc with your commentaries and like your different like versions. Like you have widescreen, full screen decision to make.
Right.
But then
that should not be a decision. Always go widescreen.
And for Pixar, usually you have like one of the making of features on the first. And the second is just completely special features, more than you could ever learn ever about the movie.
My favorite is just like we've talked about this before, but with The Incredibles, it's just like, making of, and then just like another extra half hour of just more making of.
There's an hour making of for The Incredibles, then there's a 25-minute making of, and coupled with that 25-minute making of are several not subcommittee, but like subheading. Like sub making of features like the evolution of E and like the lighting and basically takes all the aspects.
Ridiculous.
Which is, I know, it's so awesome. Plus, they have Easter eggs. Pixar had, unfortunately, I think.
The Incredibles Easter eggs were great.
Unfortunately, Pixar in general, they used to do a whole bunch of Easter eggs. Now they've kind of scaled back, but they still got good features. But still, the Easter eggs it's a fun thing to look forward to on the DVDs.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And Monsters Inc. was great. I learned basically I learned my
Monsters Inc. had a really good setup with all the doors. That was ingenious.
Oh, yeah. Monsters Inc. where I learned my basics, kind of my formal training for what I know about Pixar.
Mm-hmm.
from that DVD. So a lot of influence there. But yeah, Aladdin was also chock full of features too, because you had this great thing, Gilbert Gottfried. I don't know what you're talking about, because he wasn't just there for 3 minutes. He did the whole interviews thing. Remember?
Well, yeah, he was at the, but I just remember there was this one featurette that was kind of like coupled into the making of that was just like, it was called something like Gilbert Gottfried Loud and Aggravated or something like that.
You know what I remember from that Aladdin DVD?
What?
I remember how you saw Jafar was a really nice guy in real life. He bought a bird.
Well, of course, Jafar's really a nice guy in real life. He just wants to save the kingdom from the evil Aladdin. Of course.
Patience, patience. Yeah.
Haven't you ever seen Twisted, BlueDragonFive? Come on, everyone should know that.
Well, you know, the thing is also the guy had actually in real life has a fear of birds, so it was kind of a.
Oh, that's funny.
Basically confronting his fear in the thing, getting a pet bird. He's confronting his fear. This is really neat. But also, yeah, you learned a whole bunch. Like the other thing I remember most. Would be Eric Goldberg talking about the Genie animation.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good animator. He works on a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And
that was another good example of, they talked a lot about how many changes went through the movie.
Oh, yeah.
God, you know what I remember? I remember the Clay Aiken cover of Part of Your Boy, Proud of Your Boy.
Yeah. Remember, Proud of Your Boy is a really, believe it or not, if you ever watch Waking Sleep Beauty, or at least the deleted scenes of Waking Sleep Beauty, Howard Ashman had deep ties to that song, so a lot of people are upset that song left.
I was honest. Well, I guess they couldn't put it in any Aladdin show unless they changed the plot. No,
Exactly.
honestly, I think they could have put it in there. Just he's kind of eulogizing his mother. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's actually the direction they were kind of going with it for a while.
Yeah, but they made her like a doting mother in the original thing. Cats are very sick. Kill axe the mom.
Oh,
jeez, Katzberg has to kick Howard Ashman while he's down.
Yeah.
Anyway, the last thing I'll mention about Aladdin. Sorry, Benj Blue, anything you comment on the Aladdin DVD?
Nothing really. I mean, it was a good DVD.
How many commentaries?
I liked it when they talked about the art style.
Or were there two? Were there one or two commentaries? Two?
I want to say two.
Was it animators and story people? What was it?
Yeah.
What was the breakdown?
I believe it's your first commentary is your directors, writers, and maybe producer. Your second one is Eric Goldberg and the animators.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I liked how they had how they talked about the animation, like how they were talking about how like the Al Hirschfeld stuff.
Oh yeah. There's literally a whole featurette of him talking about the Al Hirschfeld style, so not just working in there. Remember, he did actually a whole featurette in Fantasia, like a whole segment in Fantasia using Al Hirschfeld style.
Which is freaking brilliant. That's probably easily the best sequence in Fantasia 2000.
Rhapsody Blues.
Oh my god.
Rhapsody, Bohemian Rhapsody.
Rhapsody in Blue.
Right, Rhapsody.
The best of
did you say Bohemian Rhapsody?
Don't you
No,
dare.
that's something I'd like to see in another Fantasia movie.
Oh my god. The other thing, one thing about Aladdin I want to mention, like also something with the Disney DVDs in general, they had interactive menus, or at least not I guess they're interactive menus. Basically, they had stuff going on while you're looking for your picks.
Right.
Like Iago and Jafar bickering in the lamp at the end. It's like a continuation of the movie. There's bickering for eternity in that lamp. At least until the sequels happen.
Oh god.
Then let's see. There is something I want to mention about. We're kind of drifting into future stuff here with Disney. So let's talk about some disappointment with DVDs. And the big one for me, just right off the bat, one of my top 5. I mean, now it's changed all the fantastic stuff I've been getting at Disney lately.
Mm-hmm.
Would be one of my favorites, at least my nostalgic favorites, was Hercules. I love the Hercules movie. I still got a soft spot for it. It was like, it's a Disney movie that was kind of their first attempt at a superhero movie.
Yeah, and I my one big problem with Hercules is I think it kind of borrowed from the style of Aladdin a little too much. I feel like it was kind of piggybacking off of Aladdin a little bit.
It kind of took everything that the genie did and made that an entire movie.
Exactly. Having said that, I think Hades is an even stronger villain than Jafar was.
He is.
Take that for what you will.
James Wood is awesome.
Yes.
I'd honestly like to see James Wood do a live action interpretation of Hades. I think
Well,
he's
he
that
always
good in
does.
the character.
He always does come back to do the voice. Like anytime they could recast him, he says, "No, let me do the voice."
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So he might be open to do that, but nowadays I'm not so sure. But I mean, back in the day, he would have been game to do that.
You have no idea how much I've been thinking about that. I've been thinking an unhealthy about a live action James Wood's Hades.
But anyway,
Moving on.
Anyway, so I mean, they could do like a motion
One
cap.
thing to mention about Hades, just really quick. This is just a joke. So Disney Hollywood Studios had their Villains Unleashed event over this past weekend, where it was 50 villains and the opening ceremony was Hades and Megara introducing them all, and it was on the stage where the Frozen stage show was, and Hades comes out, and the first thing he says was, "Oh yeah, our set burned down the Frozen set, ha 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 ha," and then thunderous applause from the audience. Woo!
Well, you know what they could do? Is one real quick on James Wood live action. What they could do is they could do either a motion capture thing worked in with the face, so they could project it on like a screen or something.
Oh sure, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
I'm saying, like, say you got a live action guy, he like bursts into flames, and you see like, just the face burning in the fire with James Woods' motion capture on. Or just have an anime film where it's motion capture with him in there though.
No, I'm thinking what they can do is they can have him like mostly just in heavy makeup and whatnot, but then add the fire effects afterwards. Like I'm thinking that's the way to do it.
An option. It's definitely an option. But anyway, so what I'm saying, like movies like Hercules and also favorites like Brave Little Toaster particularly, and Brave Little Toaster and some other movies, I'm sure. Oh, like Goofy movie. There's a whole bunch of like the Goofy movies also.
Why have we not done a show on Goofy movie yet? Oh my god.
But the
nostalgic feels.
So the point is, with the Goofy movie, all these great anime films are really they have one thing in common: no commentary, no real spectacular feature other than a making of feature. Really a hammed-in making of feature.
Yeah, and a lot of the time the making of features were like 5 to 10 minutes long.
Exactly. So I mean, you got some good films there, some really good films, but really not getting the justice they deserve. Like Hercules, I'd love to hear commentary for Hercules, particularly Brave Little Toaster. I'd love to hear commentary for Brave Little Toaster.
Oh, commentary for Brave Little Toaster would be something that I'd be so down for.
Again, that's kind of some of the things we've been doing with our...
You know what would be amazing is if the team for Toy Story 3 just recorded a commentary for Brave Little Toaster when they recorded the Toy Story 3 commentary and just reflected on it. Oh, man.
Yeah,
but of course, that didn't happen. So.
Well, the director's still alive. He works at Disney now, so he could always come back. He works for the Disney theme parks now.
Is Brave Little Toaster on Blu-ray? Do you know?
I assume so. I don't know.
You assume so.
And I assume the features are equally disappointing.
Yeah. Can I talk about the first time I experienced disappointment with the Disney DVDs?
Sure. I mentioned Hercules, so go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. I remember this very distinctly, and this was really kind of the downfall of Disney DVD for me. Like, this was when I stopped caring.
This is the Anakin and the lava moment for you.
Oh, yeah. Oh. You can't win, Anakin! I got the high ground!
I have the high ground!
And my Scottish accent is showing through! This is my character from Trainspotting, Anakin!
I hate you! Fire burns! Hades, curse you, Hades!
Okay.
Go ahead.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Bum, bum, bum.
Curse of the Black Pearl is one of the best DVDs I've ever owned. I actually own multiple copies of it because I wore out one copy and had to buy a new one. It was that good. 4 different commentaries. 4.
Very
Ridiculous.
impressive.
And on top of that, you had a whole disc 2 worth of, like we said, it was like they had a big documentary. They had a lot of fly-on-the-wall stuff that they kept doing with the Pirates DVDs that I like.
No.
A lot of deleted scenes with commentary. And of course, my favorite, which was the featurette about the opening of Pirates of the Caribbean that had a ton of old ride footage, which was awesome to see. It always got me hyped up for Disney trips when I was younger. That was a great DVD, just great. And then we had Dead Man's Chest. I defend Dead Man's Chest quite a bit as a film. I actually think it's quite on par with Curse of the Black Pearl. I know a lot of people disagree with that, but anyways.
Could I interject with something real quick before we get to the downward part?
Yeah.
One more happy memory before we get down there. Finding Nemo had a really interesting commentary. They had the visual comment, one of the first, if I'm not mistaken, one of the first visual commentaries where they would cut the things during the movie. And they made a big show of it too. Like at the beginning, they were all talking about how periodically we're going to cut to parts of the movie, like visual segments of the movie, making it.
I remember the Lost DVDs did that in season 1 too, where the writers would be doing commentary on the pilot or whatever, and then they'd be like, you know what? We're just going to pause this for a second, and we're just going to show you a little featurette. All right, now back to the movie.
And you know what was important about that? With that and all the other Pixar commentaries, particularly that one, you got to know these guys. You got to know these directors and writers and how they work, because they all had like a great rapport with each other, and like they were all personable. Like they had gags in there because Andrew Stan's a funny guy.
Sure.
Like Bob Peterson, they're all funny. Bob Peterson and Andrew Stan. Like they zoom in on Bob Peterson and say, I didn't get a close up. Okay, Bob, you take a second. So sit back, relax, enjoy the DVD. And they're all laughing because it's like close up on his mustache and teeth. Wait, what? What? At the end, they're all cursing at each other, and it's all bleeped out. Hilarious. Oh, that's not going to make it to the disc. Well, bleep, 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 bleep.
And then,
sorry,
I guess just really quick, the place that I first got my love of commentaries was The Simpsons. AdvBlueDude, did you ever own any of The Simpsons DVDs and watch those commentaries?
Oh, many of them, yes.
Oh, I'm sure you did.
Yeah, I'm watching The Simpsons, well, not right now, but I have been watching The Simpsons since Thursday.
Yeah. You see, I would be watching that too, except I had all the DVDs of the good episodes, and I just watched the shit out of them, so it's like...
Yeah.
The Family Guy commentaries were as hilarious as the episodes were when they were hilarious.
Yeah, they were good, but I think with The Simpsons just had such a good running quality to them. Like, even when the episodes wouldn't be that great, the writers would kind of joke about it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's a classic example of learning about people's personalities and everything. Actually, BlueDragonFive, come to mention it, you know the thing I remember the most about the Family Guy commentaries?
How Seth MacFarlane is awesome? Yes, I do remember that.
No, the guy who has the Ray Romano voice.
Yeah, David A. Goodman. Yeah, they always make fun of it. They actually made a gag out of it in the show. So some of the stuff they did talk about in those commentaries did make it to life.
Right.
Basically, how Ray Romano's talking around like Harold Ramis, Ray Romano,
there was
David A.
one
Goodman.
that I found cool about those commentaries, actually, where in the Family Guy ones, where there's one in like a commentary, like some episode, like really early on, they're talking about how some of the voices are similar.
Yes.
And they're like, yeah, maybe we should do a gag where Carl Pewterschmidt meets
Dr. Hartman.
Doctor. And then like 2 seasons later that happens, and I'm like, oh my god!
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was great.
Yeah. So many funny things, and also a lot of so much funny stuff.
Oh, I sound like me. You sound like you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Also, remember there was a Brian and Stewie commentary for one episode. I wish they did that more.
Yeah, and I was going to mention King of the Hill Season 1, they actually had commentaries. I think Dale and Bill did one, and then...
Oh, that's great.
And then
the only
Peggy
time
did one, and then Peggy and Bobby did one.
The only time they ever did something similar to the Brian and Stewie in terms of Family Guy was a Cleveland show. His first episode was Cleveland doing a commentary on an episode.
I still can't believe that they got fucking David Lynch for the Cleveland show.
What episode? Which?
Most of them. He was the bartender.
Oh, that was him? That's
Yeah.
David Lynch?
I went to eat shit when it fucking clicked, and I was like, oh my god.
Oh, yeah, he's Gus the bartender.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that's David Lynch. You know?
David Lynch.
Hey,
I was watching it one day, I'm like, that looks like David Lynch. Holy fuck, that sounds like David Lynch.
Hey guys, I'm only familiar with David Lynch very, very little. Like I know, like in Finding there's a sequence inspired by. No, is that David? No, it's David Fincher, isn't it? No. So remind me who David Lynch is.
He directed
Eraserhead, Elephant Man, Blue Velvet.
Oh, it was Blue Velvets. That's Lynch.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, never mind. Good.
He
was in an episode of
Fuck
Louis.
That shit. Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Velvet.
Oh god.
He was great on Louis. He did an episode of Louis.
Yeah, and he also has a pretty prominent solo music career as well. That's kind of recent.
That's wonderful. I fucking love David Lynch. He's the shit.
We need it's probably too late to do it before you go to college, AdvBlueDude. But we eventually need to do a look at David Lynch's short films.
Yes.
Because David Lynch's short films are some of the most disturbing things I've ever seen in my life.
Most David Lynch is disturbing.
Yeah, but their short films kind of take on, like, oh my god, like an even, just because they're so confined, it's just like... It's
hey
fun.
guys, your onion rings are ready. You were right to tell us, Gus.
Alright, so anyways, back on the topic originally planned for tonight.
Yes, David Lynch home video releases.
Fuck yeah.
In 2005,
I'm really excited for this.
So do you guys listen to the Mulholland Drive commentary?
No. Let's get back to Disney because we should do this, and it's almost 2 a.m. and I'm missing valuable The Simpsons time.
All right. Let me think. So we're okay.
At this point, it must be on the bad seasons.
So we're
they're at like season 10.
Yeah.
Almost.
Simpsons has been on
so long. It didn't get bad until season 15.
Anyway.
I think the single-digit Simpsons are the real Simpsons. That's my
they are, but I mean, like, they started getting very bad at season 15, and then they picked back up in the mid-20s.
Speaking of downward spirals, we were saying about Disney. Downward spiral home release.
My God, Pirates of the Caribbean. How the hell did we get off that tangent?
Okay, so what was the downward spiral of Pirates of the Caribbean? What was the big old...
Okay, so Dead Man's Chest... Like I said, I'm a big fan of Dead Man's Chest. I really like it. I especially love the cliffhanger way in which they end the movie, where it's like, oh my god, you know, like, Davy Jones is after Jack, the heart's gone, and then Norrington traded the heart to Davy Jones, and, you know, and then they're rounding up a crew, and oh shit, it's Barbossa! I really like that element about it. But anyways, so for the DVD, they had... 1 commentary instead of 4 by the writers, and I'm like, okay. And then they didn't really have a full documentary on the disc 2. They just had a bunch of featurettes, and then they had a featurette about putting Jack Sparrow in the ride. Hate.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but and then. So enter At World's End, shitty fucking movie, of course, but no commentary, 3 featurettes. So that's my point. I
looks way down.
Yeah, I don't even get why At World's End had a 2-disc release, because it was literally just 3 featurettes for the whole thing. They could have easily fit that on disc 1 because it didn't have a commentary.
Captain Hook's revenge plot.
So that's my whole thing. That's when I really started to lose respect for Disney. I'm like, you know what? Disney is just not, you know, like they're putting out these 2-disc releases, but they're not really giving us 2-disc worth of content.
Well, continue this. Yeah. Well, anyway, continue on with that. Let's get into the future with more downward spiral. Things have gotten worse from that, indeed.
Oh yeah.
I got 2 rants. I got 2 rants that have been festering in me, especially recently when I was looking. Unfortunately, I was a little early anticipating Captain America 2, but I did research it, so I found out what format it's coming out on, which made me angry.
Oh, God.
Okay, so, I had a rant. Essentially, the same thing happened with Thor 2.
Mm-hmm.
And recently what they've been doing. Okay. So, let's see. So, modernly, so they have their features, very disappointing, and that's another thing we're going to get to in a moment. But before that, just getting into what they're doing now in terms of release. So, apparently now, for just anything that's Disney-related, including their Marvel films, especially their Marvel films,
Right.
So they released something, Thor 2. Okay, so in the past, Marvel has done things like Hulk has they've released Hulk on DVD. I get a whole bunch
It
of
was a really good DVD actually, because that had
yes,
Louis Latour commentary and it had a
yeah.
really good a really good documentary.
Yes, bunch of good stuff with the Incredible Hulk. Point is, good stuff, Incredible Hulk.
I believe it was also like they had like a significant bunch of deleted scenes added back in, if I remember correctly, like an alternate version. Am I just hallucinating that?
What about the Hulk? I'm sorry. Say it again. What about the Hulk?
With the Incredible Hulk, I seem to remember there was like some sort of alternate version of the movie that they were pushing, where there was just like a bunch of deleted scenes added.
There's a ton of deleted scenes. It wasn't edited back into the movie, but there's a ton of deleted scenes.
Okay. Well, maybe I'm just thinking of Watchmen or something then.
But anyway,
Watchmen director's cut, probably the best director's cut I've ever seen. Just saying.
The point is, Marvel had some really good DVDs, and it might not be entirely Disney's fault with Marvel, but they've been doing this for all their other movies, though. So I assume it's like, say, Mr. Banks is a prime example of that. So it makes me think it's a trend. Like Marvel
and Frozen, of course.
Well, Frozen in terms of format is fine, just in terms of features. Anyway.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. You're talking.
My point is, so unfortunately, things would happen like I want to get DVD and Blu-ray. I don't have. It's either one or the other for me usually in terms of accessibility. But so unfortunately, I would have to get like Captain America. If I can't get on combo pack, I'd either have to pick DVD or Blu-ray, like Thor's on Blu-ray.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't get the DVD with the commentary. It's one or the other. And the Blu-ray has more features, so I'm going to go with the Blu-ray. Point is, after the Avengers is a fine DVD release. Okay, everything's fine. Get your commentaries on the regular disc and the Blu-ray more features. That's fine. That's the way you should do it. Okay.
Right.
You can buy it on a combo, so you get everything you want. Now, after that, after the deal's been really sealed with them and Disney, here's what happens. You get something like Saving Mr. Banks coming out. Saving Mr. Banks, fine film. Unfortunately, no commentary. It's an indicator right there. Quality's starting to go down.
Oh, yeah.
You got other features, though. However, you had to make a decision. Blu-ray or DVD. Thing is, no really delineation there either. So it's really Blu-ray or DVD, because you think... The thing that always bugs me at DVDs, it says "and more" on the features with Disney. It always says "and more" on Disney.
Right.
Get these features and more. And more is supposedly supposed to indicate commentary, imply commentary. Like on the back of the box, it will say like "Backstage Disney and more," which is commentary. And they'll do that, and you try researching the thing as best you can, and unless you directly can find out you've asked commentary or not, you're going to be screwed. Point is, you get the Blu-ray just to be safe, just to make sure you get all the features, and you're just hoping against all hopes you're going to get commentary. No commentary. You got okay features, and the features really could have been more. That's just the tip of the iceberg. Here's getting down to the meaty grit of it. So Thor 2. Got to make a decision. DVD. I got to make a decision now. That's my whole point with the format. You got to make a decision, Blu-ray or DVD.
Mm-hmm.
I got to get the Blu-ray now because there's no combo. They don't sell combos anymore starting with Thor 2. Or Save Mr. Banks. It's no longer combos. So, sorry if I'm beating around my point here. The point is, no longer at Disney, I can no longer get the combo pack like I did with Avengers. It has to be DVD or Blu-ray.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I can't. Thor has great features, great. The commentaries, the features. That's all good, but I can't get combos, so I have to be stuck with places. I can't watch it everywhere now. I can only watch it places where I have a Blu-ray.
I hear you. Yeah, right.
Which is irritating. Same thing as Save Mr. Banks. At least I'd be sure thing, so I don't have to be at a certain place to watch Save Mr. Banks, a movie I really like. And with Cat 2, which is an amazingly awesome film, has great features, commentary, the whole thing galore, on Blu-ray. I gotta. First of all, just the fact that commentary is not on the regular disc bugs me in itself. The fact that I gotta choose Blu-ray, but I can't get a combo, so I can't just watch the thing itself.
Mm.
Irritating. That's just the format. In terms of features, like you said, T, we got these great movies coming out like Wreck-It Ralph, and we got Frozen. Fantastic films. Phenomenal. You gotta love them. We have some good features on the Blu-ray. However, the big thing that's missing from both, again, the and more screws us again, no commentary.
Oh, yeah.
And like the Princess and the Frog is the last Disney movie they have commentary. I want to get Tangled. I like Tangled. I love the movie.
That's sad because it was almost like that was almost half a decade ago. It was half a decade ago.
Oh yeah.
So 5 years have gone by since Disney last released a DVD with commentary on it. That's really that says something.
And here's the thing. So after Princess and the Frog comes out, Tangled comes out. I like Tangled better than Princess and the Frog. You know, Tangled, it's got some Tangled, good movie. I'd love to own that movie. Do you know why I don't own that movie, Tiki? No commentary, no features at all, except for like a storybook thing.
Oh, that's ridiculous. That's
A storybook thing and potentially a short. I don't know. I don't even think it's the marriage short. It's like something else. I'm not sure. Like they might have re-released it with the marriage short. That's it though. No other features. Nothing. You know, I would love that movie. I love to own that movie, but kind of a big thing with me is I want to get some. If I'm paying a lot of money, for like $20 for a movie, I want to make sure I get bang for my buck.
Yeah, sure.
Not just the movie. I want features. Darn it! I've grown up with the best of the best features with Pixar and with Disney. I want that quality.
Yeah.
Also, it makes me rewatch it. I almost had watch this thing, put it on a shelf. I want to rewatch this a few times. Aside from just the quality, it's a good movie, but still, I want stuff to go along with it. Then the even better movies come out. Wreck-It Ralph. Fantastic movie. I'm going to rewatch it. They got features. It looks a lot promising because basically you stop the movie and they're taking a little bit of the inside of that, as close as we get, but no commentary. And really creative people made the movie. No commentary. And then the worst offender. Tiki, you want to take us through this one?
What, Frozen?
Yes.
Well, I didn't experience the DVD myself, but from what you tell me, it's like, of course, no commentary. Don't they have the,
Yes.
You can describe it better than I can.
Okay, so Frozen comes out, and I'm hyped as all get out. And again, Wreck-It Ralph kind of let me down. Again, I want to hear what these really creative people who made this really great movie had to say about the making-of process, because I'm really interested in that, especially from a good movie of that caliber. They got an equally movie of great caliber. Even one of the writers from Wreck-It Ralph worked on the movie. I'm psyched out to hear it. All I know in terms of description is, on the description, what I've heard, and I've looked on the back of the box, it says, and more. Again, bumming me out, starting to bum me out.
Right.
It says that there's like an in-depth documentary on like the original, like the 40-year, not even 40, I think it's 70-year. Is it 40 or 70? Like the making of journey of Frozen.
Yeah.
I think it's 70. I think it's 70, but don't quote me. Point is, like, since Walt was starting to pitch the movie, like the documentary talking about that. Then the other one basically says the making of Frozen. Okay, so worst comes to worst, we don't get a commentary, we get that stuff to fall back on, which is okay. And deleted scenes. Not that many, mind you, but deleted scenes. So, first off, the documentary, it's okay. It's informative, but not as long as you think it'd be. Not as in-depth.
Is it, like 20 minutes?
Like 20 at tops, maybe 30 minutes tops.
Okay.
Like 20 minutes. It's a regular featurette.
Yeah,
And,
right. That's the thing, is that, like, if you're going to call yourself a making-of documentary, be at least, like, I'd say, like, maybe 45 minutes long at the least. You know what I mean?
Yeah, don't get me wrong. It was informative stuff, and it was good stuff. I mean, it didn't really like, get to the heart of, like, what the story problems were with it.
Sure.
Like, all the different iterations, or when it was brought up, as mentioned, that happened, like, kind of where the idea first came from. Didn't really get into the meaty grit, like, why was this thing prolonged for 70 years? Which is the problem. The biggest one, here's the ranting. Okay, so, making of feature, I'm psyched about it. Then it's a musical making of feature at the top. So you get all the actors and everyone singing Olaf. You Josh Gad singing, everyone saying Kirsten Bells. They're all the actors, all the wonderful people that made the movie. They're singing to you. They're telling you, we're going to tell you how we made the movie. We're going to tell you all the great stuff. You need a good story to make a movie. All the great stuff. Saying, they sit down. This is the making of feature. It's all fourth wall breaking. It's sounding really good. I'm hyped up as heck. Then they sit down in the grand theater, the grand viewing theater, and they just end the song with, and we don't know. And then I'm expecting, okay, well, there's your funny opener. Okay, I'm actually going to learn about the movie because now the guys that made the movie are going to tell us.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nope. It just ends. It ends.
Oh, boy.
Right there. How do you? You made Aladdin. Oh, my! You made Aladdin. You made the great DVD that was Aladdin. How do you hit me with fish like that? You hit me with a ripe fish like that, right in the face.
Oh god.
Frozen fish, nonetheless. How do you? That is deplorable. Like, come on, Disney.
You know what it kind of reminds me of?
Monsters University is giving me fantastic stuff. You're giving me bupkis with features.
I remember, I don't know what season of this it was, but it was the Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and they had a play all button, right?
Yeah.
And when you clicked play all, it would literally play all the episodes on the disc at the same time.
Oh, Cartoon Hunger Force is the best.
No, it wasn't the best, motherfucker, because I used to fall asleep to cartoons, and it was so incredibly inconvenient.
It's like how on
so
April
incredibly
Fool.
inconvenient.
It's like how on April Fool.
Hold
on.
Guys,
They were gonna. Okay.
So what you're saying is when you press play all, like individual boxes on the screen, all the episodes would play, or
yes,
seriously?
at the same time. Yes.
It's like how on April Fool's Adult Swim said that they were gonna air the new Aqua Teen Hunger Force movie.
Right.
They did, but in a small box in the corner of the screen without audio. I fucking love Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Holy shit.
Oh god.
Point is, Disney, they rose and then they fell.
Yeah.
Seriously, what
so.
is it first? I would hope in the future they clean up their acts. First of all, again, just to summarize what I just said. First of all, the format, you can only choose one or the other, and it's usually going to be followed with disappointment of no commentary. But even your features are going to be limited.
I mean, to tell you the truth, at this point, I'm just glad that they're putting out DVDs still to begin with.
I mean, the only thing we got that's close to acceptable is when they do these platinum editions and stuff. But even when they re-release it, so follow me on this. Another thing to get into. So Hercules, I mentioned Hercules, how that was disappointing, no features at all. They re-released it on the platinum or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So new one, they re-released it on the Blu-ray combo. These platinum things, it would appear the only way you can get a combo pack now.
Okay.
It would appear. So I look at that, and I look in the back because I'm excited. Oh, man, if Hercules has commentary, so I'm going to get this thing, or at least some better features. No! Same thing on DVD from the 90s.
Wow.
Same thing. Come on. And it's just, Mary Poppins is like chock full of stuff.
Oh god, the Mary Poppins DVD, we could do a whole show just talking about those bonus features.
Yeah.
And Peter Pan gets released again. This is related to kind of our overall thing here. Is they're re-releasing this stuff. They released the Peter Pan experience, the exact same thing. Maybe now it's on Blu-ray.
Which is disappointing because I thought the Platinum Edition of Peter Pan by itself was underwhelming. So
don't worry, I got my features, but I don't need to buy it again. So you're kind of defeating the purpose of the Disney Vault in that sense. You got to give me more stuff. You got to give me more reason to buy it, aside from the fact it's on Blu-ray, because Blu-rays can play DVD.
Like the hardcore Disney fans are gonna buy this regardless, and so I don't know.
If Disney wants to clean up their act, just at least get to the point, at least get on the footing ground in terms of DVD release with Pixar or like home video release with Pixar. All you got to do is simply this. Stop just releasing one. Have a combo pack. You're going to make more money if you do that. Mm-hmm. You have a combo pack. Have features on both discs. And this is like an ideal world on both discs.
Right.
Even if it is just DVD, you get more. Basically, so people keep coming back for you. You had that, and you had commentaries, and you have good features to back up the things. You can charge more for quality, not just charge them money for the heck of it.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly. Because right now it just feels like I said with the AdvBlueDude DVD, it's like I was paying for a 2-disc version, which had 1 disc's worth of content, and that's where I just kind of got disenfranchised with the whole thing. And of course, AdvBlueDude had the famous and more, and more.
It's what makes me angry. I think we can agree, makes us all angry here is the fact that the movies keep getting better. And they get more disappointing with the features. I mean, literally, Frozen it was a slap to the face of, we couldn't tell you all these great stuff. We could be on the crux of telling you some really cool making of stuff. We're getting more creative storytelling, and here's some really great writing and fun stuff. in general, just what these new directors and directions we're going with in the films, and we're not going to tell you. Literally,
Yeah,
said
we're right in the middle of a new Disney renaissance where Disney has been putting out consistently more quality content than Pixar has for the last several films now.
Well, University's good.
University was good, but I don't think it was as good as Wreck-It Ralph.
I'll give you that. As much as I love University, I gotta say Ralph kind of tops it.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing.
Not by much. Not by much, though.
I don't know. But I think we can both agree, of course, that Frozen actually didn't have a Pixar film to contend with.
Yeah.
Actually, God, it's kind of weird that.
Oh wait a second. No. Hold on a second. Ralph was 2000. Ralph was 12.
Frozen was last year.
Yeah, Frozen was Frozen contended with Monsters University, which yes, Frozen wins. Wreck-It Ralph.
Monsters University was last year. Oh, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, 12 was Cars 2, which indeed Wreck-It Ralph does beat.
Actually, I thought Wreck-It Ralph was the same year as Brave, and everyone was pissed off that Brave won Best Animated.
Actually, you're right about. You're right. Actually, Brave. I'm sorry, I got my things. So Cars is 11, Brave's 12, and then University's 13. So yeah, Wreck-It Ralph did contend with Brave, and I liked Brave. I think Wreck-It Ralph should have won though.
Yeah, I really hope, beings as though we're taking an extended break from Pixar over the past couple years, which generally doesn't happen. Yep. I really hope that once they come out with Inside Out, which has been getting nothing but hype based on what I'm hearing about it so far in the early stages, I really hope that Inside Out kind of makes Pixar the force that they used to be. Because
I was going to point this out. I got a Pixar DVD recently, a new one, Toy Story of Terror. Very impressive features, and it's just a little thing about a short.
Come on, Disney, what are you doing?
Come on, it's only 20 minutes, and they still did all your Frozen features.
Right. Yeah.
There's a great making of. There's a commentary. There's additional version of it with original commercials built into it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's all the original shorts are in there. I mean, yeah, all the other Toy Story related tunes and shorts are in there. What gives? We're not saying, we're going to take you inside Pixar, and then we don't. We just shut the gate in front of you. They don't do that.
Yeah. Right.
It's not the Luxo lamp burns out a bulb, and then that's the end. That's not how it goes.
I mean, Up literally had the goddamn Pixar story. Or, I'm sorry, was that Up or Wall-E that had the Pixar
Wall-E.
story? Yeah,
Wall-E
that's like a whole other fucking movie as a bonus feature.
And
it get better than that.
Yeah. I mean, Up gives me a reason to buy the Blu-ray, because originally I just bought it on DVD, but the Blu-ray has an additional history on married life.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you got some incentive. Yeah, that's what Disney needs. They need incentive. I guess we just circle it all back here and kind of close the loop, if you will. We should just say kind of the idea of the home release. So, as we can tell, Disney has definitely gone downhill in their quality of their re-release. But just in terms of this whole Disney Vault, so the Disney Vault is still in action, correct?
I believe so, yeah.
Yes. So, what do you, Ichi, starting with you, Adventure Blue, what do you think? So, I think it's still a bit of a dicey decision here. Like, if it was in your hands, so would you still re-release these films, like a Disney film, 7 years from now, but you would take the other one off the market?
Yes.
Again,
yes.
Bear in mind, another option, I'm throwing this out there just for all of us, another option would be you still keep it on the market, and then you're releasing another one that's even better. Again, that would be assuming they get their act together and start releasing good features.
The former is the better business model.
Okay, so
I kind of agree with that because it just kind of generates more hype that way.
So more incentive is what you're saying.
Exactly, because if it's physically off the shelf, then that's just more incentive to buy the thing.
Yeah.
Right. So you're saying we'd all be good with two versions existing. I'm sorry,
I suppose.
Okay, so it's there, it stays there, and then you can just get the new, even bigger, better version when it comes out.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, it sounds good.
Yeah, I mean, with me, it's kind of like, eventually when I do get a Blu-ray, of course, the Disney, it's going to be one of the first things I go for. It's just the classics, again, just to have them.
Well, let me phrase this, just to be sure, because I think I might misphrase this. So, what I'm saying in terms of like an upgraded business model from what they're doing now would be, okay, it goes, instead of going back in the vault, it would be available and you could still like order that same disc until the new one comes out. I guess that's what I should be saying. So you could still like, let's say you were to order it online, you could still get that version, so it'd still be available for purchase. The current version that's out there until the next one comes out. So,
but like I said, where's the incentive then? Like if they just have the original
no
version.
incentive that way.
so I'm saying
Like,
the
I
only
don't
incentive.
think that's a
The way
good-
Disney runs it now is the best business model, I mean, in my opinion, because Disney makes, other than the parks, Disney makes its money off of its movies. And if the movies are always readily available, even though, like, people go fucking apeshit for Disney movies, and if they're always readily available, people won't buy them as much as they do if they release it for a year, don't release it, and then 7 years later release it again.
Because when
Right,
you
right.
think of that, in a way, they're just, it's very manipulative, but, you know,
It is.
that's what fucking marketing is.
It's Disney.
But
Right,
it
right,
really
so-
is kind of creating, and I will admit that that the unavailability is artificial, especially when you factor in things like Amazon and Hulu and everything else now where you can get these things so much easier. So the whole like, oh, it's going into the vault and it's never that's way more artificial now, but I still think it's a good strategy. I still think it works. I still think it creates incentive, however artificial it is.
You know, I think I might be kind of going for kind of the in the direction of abolishing the vault if they fix their features, because right now, basically, if they actually had, I guess, if they had better incentive, like okay, well, let me see if I can phrase this right. It's going to basically go back in the vault and it'll come out and it'll be you've been going without, now it's available now, so you get it. I'm saying, like, if the features would get better over time, like there more stuff was added to it, so you have more incentive to buy it again. Like if you were like the diehard Disney fans of theirs. Right now, it's like just going for security. Like, okay, so people just want this thing, so you're gonna get it. They don't really care about the features. That's what they're going with right now.
But even if they do, even if they do up the ante in the special features, which by all means I think they should, I don't like. I still think that it's a good business model to space it out. You know what I mean?
Right. I don't know. I guess I'm thinking that maybe they should. I think it might be kind of like a bit of a lack of more security and a bit of lack of faith in your product now is what I'm thinking. That might be happening, because
Honestly, I think it's just sheer laziness because they know that everyone went ape shit over Frozen, and then they just did nothing with the DVD. So I think it's just them being lazy myself.
any greed worked in there, or just complete laziness. Just
Oh, I mean, certainly greed's a part of it because, everything costs money. Bonus features cost money. You have to pay the
Certainly.
people to actually come in for the commentary. So, yeah, certainly they could just be looking and be like, oh, well, fucking the My Magic Plus, we still have to cut the budget from the My Magic Plus debacle at Walt Disney World. So, yeah, there go
Can
the
we-
Frozen special features.
would I be correct in saying we're all unanimous that regardless of the way things are now, just with the Disney Vault in practice, it's still a missed opportunity that when they re-release these things, they're not upgrading the features. They're not doing anything special.
For sure.
We can all agree. I'm sorry, Tiki, I think it cut out the last part you said.
I just said I think it's ridiculous, because it's like with Blu-ray, that's the fucking point of Blu-ray is that you have these big discs that can hold so much. So why not take advantage of it? Why not create all these extra features again, except sheer laziness and greed and budgetary purposes?
I mean, why release Brave Little Toaster, re-release it, like eventually maybe it will be years later, without having more stuff added to it, or Hercules without stuff added to it when you have nothing there? Let's say untapped potential. You know?
When it comes to Brave Little Toaster's case, honestly, I'd probably buy that thing on Blu-ray just to have the movie.
Exactly, but you want more stuff with the movie. Just in addition to that, because you could track it down somewhere somehow, but still, you want a reason to get it on Blu-ray, pay more for it.
Sure, actually, come to think of it, Brave Little Toaster is on YouTube, so it's not like it's a hard movie to track down. So.
Exactly. So you gotta. In terms, I think we can all agree. Disney, you got to upgrade your incentive. You got to have more reason for us to buy. At least they're appealing just to the regular donor just having it, but more so have access to it, but also have the option of getting something even better.
Right. I hear you.
I think we can all agree. And Adventure BlueDude, care to weigh in?
Yeah.
So I guess I think that's all I gotta say on it. You guys have anything else you can think of you want to discuss on this?
No, I don't have anything else.
So we like the Vault?
Yes.
I think me and AdvBlueDude agree that it's a good business model. It's frustrating and somewhat manipulative, but it works in Disney's favor.
So in essence, can we agree it's still a mixed bag? That it has its positives, and that its positives has its negatives.
I think the negative is that I completely agree with you that when they do re-release the things, they should try and go above and beyond what they did before, and they're simply not doing that. And it seems to me like the Blu-ray.
Yeah.
It seems to me like the Blu-ray era of Disney DVD is far less superior than the DVD era, and that's
I think the other flaw also is that you will have a period where you don't have access to the previous version or any version of it. So that's also a flaw. Okay, so you get your positives, you get your negatives. You're going to get another version, but without them upgraded features, it's pretty much pointless.
Sure.
And basically, you're going without the movie for nothing for a period of time, basically saying, okay, I have this already, or like, I would like to have this already, but I got to wait for it long. There can be nothing else added to it.
Yeah.
Okay. AdvBlueDude, anything?
I mean, I think what they do now is fine, other than that they don't have any special features. They really should. But, I mean, I like what they do now, the business model, like I said, it's smart. Yeah.
Well, one last thing just to ask you. It's such a simple thing to bring up, but what do you think just the concept of calling it the Disney Vault? What do you think of that? Just the conceit of calling this thing a vault where they take the movies and put them in.
I honestly think it's fucking hilarious, and it spawned a great many deal of good internet memes.
Yeah, where they quote unquote put things in a vault. But so the idea of putting something in a vault refers to how films will go into a vault eventually, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Then of course you got the great animation they've always had, the films going in this magical Disney vault, and it always seemed so ironically scary. Basically, again, it's like a threat that they're going in a vault, so buy them now. But it has such happy music behind it. And you think they could have sold the reassuringness of it will be back a little more?
No, because like I said, I think the threat in itself is kind of what works about the model. If people, if they say oh, I don't know, I think.
I don't know, it's I guess it's that they're trying to make it such a threatening thing. They're trying to make something threatening sound so happy, while it seems more ominous than kind of like a happy incentive.
Oh, by all means.
It's closing vault, boom. It's like you can't get into Disneyland.
Yeah. All right.
But AdvBlueDude, you like Vault?
Yeah.
We like the name.
I do. I like how. Yeah, I like the vault.
It's kind of a shame It's kind of a shame they don't actually have a physical vault. At least I don't think they do, unless it's mysteriously kept somewhere deep down.
They probably used to.
I mean, unless you count the animation archives.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's probably the closest thing we have to a vault. It's kind of cool. They have a Mickey Mouse shaped door.
Right. Well, we don't know what's underneath the Matterhorn. We don't know.
Yes.
True. We don't know what's
Disney?
Deep. No.
What?
I think it's. Honestly, I think the vault would be deep in the castle somewhere, like a secret corridor of the castle.
It'd have to be Cinderella's castle, because Sleeping Beauty's castle, there's only one room and it's occupied by a bunch of feral cats.
Yeah.
Cinderella's castle is not a castle.
It's just a hollow.
It'd be kind of cool if Disney World had a secret. How the president is that secret tunnel he used to sneak his girlfriends in through.
Right.
Yes.
Well, Disney World has a whole system of secret tunnels, of course.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What if they had a whole secret tunnel system? It'd be awesome. Disney would have escape routes planned just in case Disneyland came under siege or something.
I'm pretty sure they probably do.
If Jeffrey Katzenberg ever mounted an assault.
Oh God. I mean, they definitely have emergency exit routes and stuff. They have a route between Tomorrowland and Main Street to get to file people out of the park quicker. That's mostly used with employees, and there's definitely stuff like that. But anyways, have we reached the end of our topic for tonight, gentlemen?
And I think we cracked the vault. We clicked the tumblers together. Now we got the vault open. Now we've seen what's inside, and I think we're ready to shut it back again because it's going to be re-released in like 7 years anyway.
Yeah, and it's Walt Disney's Severhead, and we don't want to see that.
That's creepy.
Oh god.
And ironic for the wrong reasons.
Yeah. So
tune in 7 years when we upload this video, and you can watch it again. It will be in HD, and we'll have a full commentary track and a making of featurette.
And in 7 years, we actually have to do that.
Yes, hear what we were talking about before this episode went live.
And there'll be an alternate commentary track of us just pre-recorded saying things.
Yes.
All right.
Press the play all button to see all our episodes.
And skip past the flat, and also embrace the fast play.
Oh, geez, that's something we didn't even get into.
Disney fast play just kind of silly.
Yeah, it's kind of pointless.
Yeah, let's just play a few of the features and just basically make people lazier.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, but that's not it. That's a whole other thing. So yeah, I'd say it's safe to say we cracked the vault. So gentlemen, why don't we kick back, relax, and enjoy a copy of The Lion King 5½, Simba Sits In for Meredith, shall we? All right.
Yeah.
See you guys later.
See ya.